All right. Good morning. I hope all of you had a good Mother's Day weekend. The weather's not great right now, but it was beautiful this weekend. I know we had a great time, and it really was a nice weekend to be out and enjoy it with our mothers. So hopefully you had a chance to enjoy a great weekend as well. Well, we certainly appreciate all the women in Northwest Florida who make this a great place, and we are very happy about that. We also had last week, we had the renaming of Pensacola Airport, Intergalactic. It was a great time. It's very exciting to see that Pensacola is moving forward with a new time that will be adjusted for better times where we are with COVID. I know Pensacola did that, also Mardi Gras did that. We have a number of things that are coming up. Certainly I'm looking forward to the Futures Tournament. I hear it's going to be for an issue with scheduling. We're going to have a lot of good players here in Pensacola, so I think Pensacola is going to have a chance to shine here in May. This is going to be a great time for us, and there are a number of things that are happening. We're going to talk a little bit about COVID also, where we go from here on those fronts. Burgess Road Sidewalk project will begin June 1st. The city will begin construction of the Burgess Road Sidewalk drainage improvement, which is a combination project with us and Escambia County. We'll be doing all of the that work. Will be done that's contracted. Even the portion of the county, they have provided the funding. We will be doing Burgess Road Sidewalk and Drainage Improvement Project for Tuesday, June 1st. It will add new sidewalks along the roadway to better connect neighborhoods and provide enhanced pedestrian safety. New sidewalks will be constructed along the north side of Burgess Road from Sewell all the way to Lanier, and along the south side from Joy to Mona Lane. They will not extend the whole way to the south. We made a decision, both right away and as well as some of the trees. We put it in a section that we thought was going to help most people, but we didn't want to cut down as many trees or get into right-of-way issues. So we are going to have the sidewalk all along the north side. In addition, there will be significant drainage improvements that will be made and traffic calming measures. The project is expected to take about 270 days to complete, weather permitting. And again, it's exciting to see it also coming on many fronts. We're also going to be working with Pensacola Energy, putting in new gas lines in that area and connections for individuals, certainly so we could expand gas in that area. But the project is expected to take 270 days, as I said, and in the city, construction inspector will be monitoring the contractor and project daily. For questions, you're welcome to call City Public Works and Facilities at 850-435-1645. City Summer Intern Program. The City of Pensacola is kicking off its Summer Intern Program on June 7th, giving residents ages 16 to 24 an opportunity to gain valuable career and first-hand experience. There are 12 internship positions available, and application deadline is Monday, May 17th. Applications must be between the ages of 16 and 24 and reside within the city limits. Participating departments include the Mayor's Office, Pensacola Fire Department, Pensacola Police Department, Parks and Recreation, and the Pensacola International Airport, and more. Stay tuned for more information on our website at cityofpensacola.com. And I really know he's been working hard. I also know our youth council is going to be making a presentation Thursday at the City Council. They've been working hard, so I appreciate all the work that Kelsey and his team have been doing there. We're slowly coming back and bringing back some programming that's very much focused on our kids and on our future, so we're going to continue to do that. Resident Satisfaction Survey. We are conducting the annual Resident Satisfaction Survey and encourage all of our citizens and residents to participate and let their voices be heard. City residents are asked to complete a survey online at uwf.edu/Haas Resident Survey or by phone at 850-495-2666 by Friday, July 23rd. So that will be out there. We hope you will let us know what's going on and how we're doing. City yard waste pickup is running behind schedule due to significant increase in yard waste being placed on the curbside for pickup in recent weeks. City sanitation is running approximately a week to 2 weeks behind normal yard waste pickup. We do believe we've gotten the bulk of it from that storm, and we think we will be catching up, but we still may have this week, you may have intermittent service and not your normal usual service. City sanitation crews are working diligently to get the yard waste picked up on schedule. We appreciate your patience as we work to get caught up. This is only impacting yard waste. For the City of Pensacola sanitation customers, garbage and recycling pickup continue to run on schedule, and we will continue to work with that. But I know over the weekend, I think we were even working on Saturdays. We've been working, trying to get caught up. The storms we had in April, plus a significant spring cleaning, you put a lot more on the streets, and we know it. We get a lot of complaints about we're not there every week. We apologize on being a little behind, but we're working as fast as we can to get around the city. The Mayor's Neighborhood Cleanup, the next one is set for May 22nd. This will be a large portion of East Hill neighborhood and surrounding area. The event allows the City of Pensacola sanitation customers to clean up an area to leave eligible items at the curb to be picked up free of charge, including furniture, paint, tires, appliances, and more. Visit cityofpensacola.com for details to confirm whether you are in the cleanup area. How to do business with your local government virtual workshop. This is just a reminder that how to do business with your local government workshop will be held virtually on Wednesday, May 12th at 2 p.m. via Microsoft Teams. The workshop is free and open to the public, hosted by the Gulf Coast Minority Chamber of Commerce, the City of Pensacola, Escambia County, and ECUA. I know I see usually Brian is here, and he's been very active in this, and we really appreciate his coordination on this, both for the City of Pensacola and Escambia County. The workshop is designed for businesses to establish a working relationship with their local government. Participants can learn more about registering for the business procedures for bidding and procurement and future business opportunities with local government. To learn more, visit cityofpensacola.com. And as we continue to be moving toward things within the covenant of the community, and more of our projects fall into that, we really think it would be good for you to take the time, if you are interested and have a business, certainly if you're a minority business owner, to work with that. And please work with Brian Wire at the Gulf Coast Minority Chamber and with our team at the City of Pensacola. We're putting that together so that you have the opportunity to participate in work that's happening here at City Hall. City Council meetings this week. We will have on Monday, we'll have the agenda review today. That's at 3:30 p.m. And then the CRA will be meeting immediately following. And of course, the City Council meeting will be Thursday, May 13th at 5:30. Kareth will be taking care of that one. I guess as Keith and I will both be out of town, so we'll let you take all the questions there. COVID-19 we wanted to get to again. Last update from the state shows it was a 9% positive rate for May 8th. However, that follows 3.84, 3.51, and 4.0 before that. We're seeing the same thing in hospitalizations. They've gone from 32, 32, 31, 29, 34. 31, 34, 29. So again, we continue to stay in that same range around 30, up and back. But again, we at this time we ask you to do what you need to protect yourself. But the main way that you can do that is by getting vaccinated. Last Monday, I had my call with the hospitals, and I think that the most significant impact we're seeing is that people are saying, you can now call in. This is what Scott Raines from Baptist said. You can call in, and in 2 hours you can be sitting there actually getting a shot. It's not a wait. We'll schedule you in a couple of days. If you call, they can almost turn around and get you in immediately to get a shot. The shots are there. We are now at roughly about 100,000 residents in Escambia County have gotten one, but we really need to push that to 200,000. So again, that's one of the issues that's being the biggest push for us. They're available for everyone 16 and older. You can certainly get the shots. Our population of 16 and older, we're 37% last Monday. The challenge is the state average is 48%. So we really need to continue to do a better job there. This has sort of prompted us to look at City Hall and in a position to simply say, if you've been vaccinated, we're going to say you don't need to wear a mask anymore. I feel bad. Joe's down there. He's been vaccinated. He's wearing a mask all the time, but he's been vaccinated. The most important thing you can do right now is get your vaccination. So if you've had your second vaccination, you're 2 weeks after that, we're going to say at the City of Pensacola that you don't have to wear a mask anymore. because we think it's prudent at that point for you to you've done what you need to be doing. We need to keep moving forward. It's the most important way for us to continue to fight the virus. I think you're going to see us more and more open, and with more and more things opening and the expectation of participating with everybody together, I think it's become more and more incumbent upon you to get your vaccine so that you're taken care of. And I think that's one of the things you can also help with anything else that happens. As I've talked about before, we're not getting over COVID all the way. What we want to do is push COVID to become something like the common cold. And even if you get COVID, if you've had the vaccine, you've gone through that process, what you are likely to experience is the common cold. And I think when we look at hospitalizations, mortality, those numbers have definitely significantly come down since the February timeframe. We see more and more people getting vaccinated. So I would say at this point, get vaccinated. That's one of the most important things that you can do for the community, for yourself, and highly encourage you to do that. That's kind of where we are with the City of Pensacola today. I'm happy to take any questions and anything that you might have. Yes, Dave.
Just wondering, there's been some talk in the past few weeks about the city ratcheting up their clean energy, renewable energy programs. Can you give us an update on what's going on there?
We can. We are. We're doing some of that right now. I think on Earth Day we unveiled the two sun shades that are downtown. We have another shade structure that is going up at Sanders Beach, and we have one that's going to come here to downtown to City Hall. So we are working on a number of projects there. We probably would love to talk with other vendors looking at some of our properties that work. I think nothing works better than a big parking lot that's asphalt that has a lot of sun space, but it becomes a heat island. Would be perfect for getting and collecting sun. So we're certainly looking at that as much as we can do. Also significantly, we're looking with what we're doing with Mark Jackson. I mean, Mark is very focused on bringing down our greenhouse gas emissions. A lot of that is what you see in our heavy fleet continuing to move more and more to natural gas. It sort of works for us. We also can supply our own natural gas, and we hope that will lead in the future to more opportunities, more vehicles looking at that. Obviously, there certainly are a lot of electric vehicles. We'll continue to look at what we can, but from our standpoint, the things we can control, we're going to continue to do everything we can to push down, our greenhouse gas emissions. And some of it will certainly be looking at renewable energy, and some of it will be looking at what we can do with Pensacola Energy. But we think we can do a lot better and continue to do what we're doing. Certainly, Gulf Power has been doing some of that. About almost they're exclusively going to gas on what they use. It's non-renewable, and then the significant impact they've made, Salfley Field and other places that they're dealing with their solar. We look to partner with them where we can. We're also looking for opportunities to partner with the smaller providers of solar, and we look forward. We'd love those opportunities. I know Mark is looking at all of those things, how we can do that. Talking with Mark, he feels confident that we can meet that 30% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions from what we're doing. So he's still collecting all the data. It's fairly significant. It was a little bit more than he thought, but Mark's been a very valuable asset for us to have on staff, and he's doing a good job with us and putting us in the right direction. And I think sometime this summer he's going to be coming to council with plans that he's already moving forward to try to make it so that we can reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. John.
Morning, Mayor. Could you talk for a little bit about the districting commission and the proposed process that'll be in front of the agenda review today?
We want to go ahead and kick off the districting process. I think the reason we want to do that is because there are things that group can do that they don't actually have to have the information in front of us. If we wait until we get the data and start that process, it's very likely that we will not be able to finish it until as we get into the first part of 2022. But we have an opportunity to finish redistricting in 2021. We expect to get the data, I think, at the late summer, early fall. It's later than most censuses have come back, but obviously we all know what happened in 2020. So we know why the Census Bureau is running behind. And at this point, we're just trying to do whatever we can to make sure we're on top of it, and so that we have that finished. I think I certainly agreed with Councilwoman Myers that we need to have that finished by the end of 2021, and we can do some of that by going ahead and getting some of the legwork started on the commission. Even though they'll be meeting, they'll be talking about what they do, and they can do a lot of that without the data. They won't have the data, but it will give us a chance to get them all organized, up to speed, so when they get the data, they can immediately move in that direction. And again, it's a little bit of an interesting process having done this at the county. The challenge at the county is they're going to set probably some things first, and the whole idea of the supervisor of elections wants to do is make sure his precincts are consistent. We still have maybe one or two precincts that have splits, but his goal is to have a precinct not split by what happens. In other words, there are a couple of precincts that have two city districts within a precinct, and he's trying to get rid of that, and we certainly understand that. So we'll have to see what the county does. The county has an interesting position. They have to keep one minority-majority district, so it makes it a little bit block by block redistricting. And so we'll simply look to see what they do and then move ours from there. But obviously we've got to fit, every district has to be within like 10% of every other district in size-wise and population. So once we get the numbers, we'll know what to do. And it's also just interesting to see the numbers and see where we've grown and how we've grown and what's going on. It'll be good information and good data for us to see. So I'm excited to see the data. I mean, we should have already normally gotten it by now. But obviously COVID is challenged everything in 2020, so we're working through it. But we're gonna get there, and we're gonna have it, and it's gonna be good information to see when we get it.
Is the city still taking applications for commission members?
That's not a mayoral position, John. That's a council one, so I just don't know that one at the top of my head. Casey, do you know? Okay, all right. I'm not seeing anybody in the audience that's telling me yes or no, so we'll find that out. Jim.
Mayor, this week on the agenda, there's also an item related to a recommendation from the Police Advisory Committee on police uniforms and removing the Confederate imagery. Why are you bringing that forward now? Can you just talk about that?
We told you we wanted to find out budgetary when it was brought to us at the Citizens Advisory Committee. We found out it was roughly going to be about $300,000. There is money to do it now if the council wants to appropriate that. We told the committee we would bring that item forward. We need to figure out what items were going to cost funding and how we would do it. We looked at some of the things that are there, and we believe there was funding availability. We seem to think this was a priority from the committee, so we are asking the council to effectuate the action that the committee took. So again, all of these things when they come forward, Jim, everybody when we don't know what the budgetary impact is, we got to figure that out. It took us a little while to figure out exactly what it was going to be. It's fairly significant in the sense that at the police side we have two badges. Everybody has a badge on their hat and their person, and those aren't necessarily that cheap. But we understood what the recommendation was, and we decided to bring that forward. We had an opportunity, and I think that's one of the things that we saw come out of the committee. So we want to take it to council. We hope they will value what the committee put forward, and we will be able to move that one as soon as we get it.
And are those funds coming from the carryover from the budget last year?
They'll come from where they're unanticipated, unbudgeted funds. Those are always, all of that goes into basically the general fund. What they have, the general fund. So there is a balance in the general fund. All carry forwards that are over go in there. It's up to the council to figure out whatever they want to do. It was a priority of the committee, and we evaluated and we looked and saw there was money there, so we wanted to bring it forward.
There's another item on the agenda that's also about the Tippin Community Center. Is that coming from the same funds, and then which?
Again, we don't even know what we want to build in Tippin. We've just hired an architect. We're going to go talk to the public. I've heard that this thing is going to, is going to be everything that we're going to cure homelessness and solar power, and we're going to do everything else there. So I want to make sure we can fit it in the budget of what we have. Let's do it. I don't think we should take funds right now that could be spent and helped dealing with amenities and issues we have. Again, we put together a police advisory committee. They came forward and said this is a priority. If they said if citizens came forward and said this is what we need to do and bring that forward, we've brought that forward and figured out that the council needs to take action. I mean, I think using that money is much more prudent in using it in things that are actually priorities for us, rather than just sitting aside waiting for us to get to a point. Any funds necessarily dedicated to Tippin Park don't advance it at this particular time. We still got to figure out what we're building. And so there's been a lot of discussion about what people want, and I think that's great. We need to get an architect. We're in the process of doing that. We should have Garrett, that architect, soon. At that point, we need to figure out what we've got and then figure out how we put together the funding from that standpoint. But at this particular time, I think funding that we have that is more immediate, we need to fund those things. We have a number of amenities and programs that we need to fund right now. We have park opportunities, small things here and there in parks that we can do. We need to appropriate that money, where we can actually get some things done, and not have to wait on what we're going to do and figure out what's going to happen and what we're going to build. So right now we don't even know what we're going to build at Tippin. We know we're going to design a community center for that, and when we know what we're going to build and we know what it's going to house and we know what it's going to do, I think then we figure out how we're going to fund it. But at this particular time, I don't think setting aside money that could be better spent on issues that we need to take care of right now, especially issues the Citizens Committee told us were a priority, we need to do that.
And I guess the council over the last few months have been kind of protective of that money. They had a workshop to discuss it, and do you think, have you put forward to the council like a plan on how to spend all that money? Or?
We put forward something initially that looked at it. We'll bring forward anything we can to the council. I would say the council, there are certain council members that have certain ideas, and there are other council members that are happy to move forward. So Jim, I think Thursday night will provide you really what council members think when they vote.
Mayor, I was just going to say about the nominees that our clerk just let me know they are no longer taking nominees. Council will vote on nominees at the Thursday council meeting. So
Okay, all right. So on the nominee question that came from John at 850, we are not taking names any further. That process is closed, and the council will be voting on those individuals on Thursday night. So just for all of our audience out there, so that they know where we are and what's going on, just to confirm for them. Thanks, Casey.
And sorry, just one more follow-up on the police issue. What's going to replace? What will the badges look like?
They'll be the same badge with a Florida flag rather than the Confederate flag. I mean, like we've done everywhere else. John?
Yes, Mayor, what was the process that led you to write FDOT Secretary Gaynor to recommend lowering the speed limits on Pace Boulevard up to Massachusetts Avenue? What led you to do that?
We were asked for we have a section of Pace Boulevard. Pace Boulevard goes in the county. It has been going through the TPO process, both the county and the city trying to work together. Much like the joint letter from myself and the council president trying to deal with keeping the tolls from coming in until we get 4 lanes. It's the same way, just trying to work a process where we feel like we're supporting each other, and much of that designation is not in the city limits; it's in the county. But we were certainly supporting our county friends, and anytime that they need us to help and support, it's a state road. We wanted to assist them in that endeavor, and I think the whole idea is we're trying to make all of our streets more pedestrian friendly, more walkable, more safe in what we can do in movement. And Pace has had a number of accidents, whether they were bicycle or pedestrian. They've had a number of accidents on Pace. And again, as many of those haven't been in the city, they've been in the county, but at the same time, that's our residents. I mean, one way or another. I mean, most of our residents don't care. They don't realize where they drive. They don't realize where they walk or they bike. They go over a line. We've been very focused at safety and trying to do what we can, and so we were asked about that from the county, and we were happy to support.
One more traffic thing. Any updates on the bridge flyover?
Yes, we had some stuff last Thursday. We talked with DOT. They're done with everything on the 2-lane. I mean, obviously it's got to cure. The bridge has to cure, so it's doing that. But they've finished everything they needed to do. The 4-lane, I think, will be finished fairly short order. It really depends on the weather, so it's hard for me to say it's absolutely going to happen, because if we get weather like this, it's not going to happen. But I mean, obviously, if we get some sunny days like we did over this past weekend and the last couple of days of the week, they can make a lot of progress. They're committed to making as much progress as the weather allows them to do. They are getting so much. They're mostly out of the water, so once they get everything out of the water, it just becomes so much easier to move faster. And I think we will see that on the 4-lane. The challenge has been the landing. When we talked, they showed they were starting to do asphalt. They feel confident that the landing will be open by the end of the month. I don't know. They were very vague between last Thursday and the end of the month when it's going to happen. But I mean, they feel very confident that it will happen by the end of the month. So I can't commit to a specific date in May at this particular time. I can tell you that what I saw, they were already beginning to put asphalt in on the 17th Avenue and the part that goes from the bridge to the flyover. However, when I came down 14th this morning to turn on the bayfront to come here, still not, the asphalt's still not in the flyover portion. The guardrails still aren't up. So, I mean, they got work to do. I mean, they've got work to do. I mean, my feeling has been, I feel more confident about the bridge than I do the flyover port, the landing, but I am confident the landing is going to get done by the end of the month. I mean, the conversations we've had with them, but I can't tell you it's going to be May whatever day. We're working as much as we can to get there.
What would Plan B look like if the landing wasn't completed? I don't know, look in your crystal ball here.
Well, this is the point that I think even as far back as January, I mentioned and came forward and said, all the work on the bridge is going to be great, but if you have no place to go to the landing, John, I don't know. If you don't have a landing, I don't know what we do. I mean, people drive across the bridge and drive back. It doesn't seem very. I mean, so from that standpoint, if you don't have a landing, we don't have a bridge. So at this point, DOT is working very diligently to make that happen. My point is only to simply say two things that came out of Thursday. I'm very confident that they will open the landing by the end of May. What I'm less confident is where between today and the end of May it will be. I don't know, and I think the bridge will be. I feel very confident that the bridge, if the 2-lane, as soon as the concrete cures, they're going to be ready to start taking people across the bridge in 2-lane. I would love to see it in 4-lane. I think that's what we all are looking forward to, getting it back to 4-lane. But I think that will happen shortly. And the bigger question is just, when is the landing going to come together? But they were doing asphalt, and I saw pictures of it that they showed us Thursday. However, on the Landry side, there's no asphalt on that side. I was there today and looked at it, and there's no asphalt. Is that it? Thank you very much for joining us today. We hope you have a great week, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.